Unveiling Silk Typhoon, China's cyber espionage and the hidden offensive tools. A jaw-dropping revelation has shaken the cybersecurity community. New findings now expose how China-backed threat actors, known as Silk Typhoon or Hafnium, are leveraging extremely advanced offensive tools while operating through a network of state-sponsored companies. Recent investigations have uncovered complex, sophisticated technology stacks, including patented intrusive forensics and data collection systems, developed by firms like Shanghai Firetech Information Science and Technology Company, which had never before been associated with this notorious group. According to an indictment released by the Department of Justice earlier this month, two hackers, Xu Ziwei and Zhang Yu, were actively working for companies contracted by China's Ministry of State Security. In an in-depth report by SentinelLabs, experts dissected the indictment and highlighted how these individuals operated within China's broader hacking contractor network. This network, which is deeply tied to the country's state apparatus,
does not work in isolation. Rather, it forms a sophisticated ecosystem
where companies and hackers collaborate to develop and deploy significant cyber-offensive capabilities.
But here's where it gets controversial.
The identification of more than 10 patents for what can only be described as cutting-edge data acquisition and digital forensics tools
reveals a much deeper, more capable arsenal than previously known. These tools, which enable everything from decrypting data on endpoints to sophisticated mobile and network forensics, go beyond the traditional tactics attributed to Silk Typhoon.
This raises the question of whether cybersecurity experts have been underestimating the true extent of attacks orchestrated by such state-affiliated networks.
Dakota Carey, a China-focused consultant at SentinelOne and a non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council's Global China Hub, points out that the conventional approach in threat attribution, focusing solely on named groups, is often too narrow. Instead, he suggests that a more fruitful strategy might involve examining the companies behind these threat groups, as these firms not only supply the offensive tools, but also form an intricate hierarchy that supports state-sponsored intrusion campaigns. This perspective sheds light on how the same offensive capabilities might surface in different attacks, linking what appears to be unrelated incidents back to the same supplier network. Silk Typhoon, or Hafnium, has long been a name synonymous with high-profile cyber attacks. The group has been implicated in breaches against the U.S. Treasury Department and has launched aggressive campaigns against a variety of targets, spanning industries such as defense, healthcare, non-governmental organizations, higher education, and even policy think tanks. In one notorious instance in 2021, the group exploited 4 zero-day vulnerabilities in Microsoft Exchange server, including the infamous proxy logon, to compromise email servers, demonstrating their far-reaching impact and technical prowess. And this is the part most people miss. Beyond the high-flying headlines lies a complex ecosystem of Chinese contractors. The DOJ indictment unveils a multi-tiered structure where principal entities like the Shanghai State Security Bureau coordinate efforts through companies such as Shanghai PowerRock Network Company and Shanghai Firetech, while smaller players like Isun and Chengdu 404 contribute with less stable contracts and lower morale.
This layered and collaborative model suggests that an attack attributed to a notorious group like Hafnium might actually involve varied contributions from different companies, making it difficult to assign a one-to-one correlation between observed tactics and organization. This evolving understanding of China's offensive cyber ecosystem challenges traditional threat intelligence methods. Rather than merely tracking clusters of behavior or attributing attacks to a single advanced persistent threat, APT, analysts are now encouraged to delve deeper into the relationships between the individuals, the companies employing them, and the offensive tools at their disposal. Could this broader view lead to better detection and mitigation strategies? Should the focus shift from solely individual threat groups to the corporate fabric that supports them? We invite you to consider these questions. Do you think that current methods of threat attribution are missing critical links in the supply chain of offensive cyber capabilities?
Is it time to reimagine our approach to cyber threat intelligence by mapping not just the attackers, but also the networks that arm them? Share your thoughts and join the conversation on this pressing issue in the comments. Chinese firms linked to Silk Typhoon filed 15-plus patents for cyber espionage tools. Chinese firms behind Silk Typhoon filed 15-plus patents for cyber espionage tools. In a recent development, Chinese companies connected to the state-sponsored hacking group known as Silk Typhoon, https://2025.03, China-linked Silk Typhoon expands, also referred to as Hafnium, have been identified as the creators of over 15 technology patents. These patents reveal the intricate web of cyber contracting in China and the offensive capabilities of its shadowy tech ecosystem. The patents focus on forensics and intrusion tools designed to extract data from encrypted endpoints, analyze Apple devices, and remotely access routers and smart home gadgets. SentinelOne, a cybersecurity firm, shared this report with the Hacker News, highlighting the growing sophistication of these tools. Dakota Carey, a China-focused strategic advisor at SentinelLabs, emphasized that this new insight into Hafnium-affiliated firms underscores a critical gap in threat actor attribution. While most tracking methods link campaigns to specific individuals, this case shows how clusters of activity can be tied to larger organizations. Our research demonstrates that identifying not only the individuals behind attacks, but also the companies they work for, their capabilities, and how these capabilities bolster state-backed operations if crucial, Carey stated. The findings build on the U.S. Department of Justice's DOJ July 2025 indictment of Xu Ziwei and Zhang Yu, accused of orchestrating a 2021 cyber attack on Microsoft Exchange server using 0 days, called proxy logon. The DOJ alleges that Ziwei worked for Shanghai Firetech Network Co., Ltd., while Yu was employed at Shanghai Firetech Information Science and Technology Company. Both were under the oversight of the Shanghai State Security Bureau, SSSB. Interestingly, NATO Thoughts reported that PowerRock deregistered its business on April 7, 2021, just a month after Microsoft accused China of exploiting a 0-day vulnerability. Ziwei later joined Chaitin Tech, another prominent cybersecurity firm, before switching jobs and becoming an IT manager at Shanghai GTA Semiconductor Limited. Yin Kecheng, a hacker linked to Silk Typhoon, was previously employed at Shanghai Heiying Information Technology Company, founded by Zhou Shuai, a Chinese patriotic hacker and data broker. Shanghai Firetech worked on tasks directed by MSS officers, Carey explained. Their relationship with the SSSB was built on trust, allowing them to operate as a tiered system of offensive hacking outfits in China. Further investigation revealed that Shanghai Firetech and its partners filed patents, archive.ph, related to Apple device forensics, router access, and defensive equipment. There's also evidence suggesting the firm develops tools for close access operations against targeted individuals. Carey noted, the range of tools under Shanghai Firetech's control exceeds those attributed to Hafnium and Silk Typhoon publicly. These capabilities may have been sold to other regional MSS offices, meaning they aren't directly linked to Hafnium, despite being owned by the same corporate structure. This article highlights the complexity of cyber threats and the evolving nature of state-sponsored hacking. While the evidence is compelling, the attribution of these tools to specific actors remains a subject of debate. But here's where it gets controversial. Do these patents represent a shared threat landscape, or are they indicators of a broader, more sophisticated cyber warfare strategy? What does this mean for global cybersecurity policies and the role of private firms in protecting national interests?